sort of dorsal spine area. But what I'd like to emphasize is that the anatomy of this creature is much more, at least superficially, horse-like, and the details of an elephant should be visible at the range and detail that we've managed to ascertain. And one thing you'll notice about elephants when you get close to them is that they have long, gorgeous eyelashes, and they have subtle hair. They're not entirely hairy, and they look relatively smooth from a distance, but when you get to see an elephant closer, you can see hair, and you'll also notice that the position of the eyes on this animal and the bending of the neck, because that's where the misconception comes from, is not focusing on how the neck connects to the head, how those cervical vertebrae interact with the rest of the body. Because the proportions that are exhibited there and the way that the animal moves itself and repositions itself render it incompatible with the anatomy of an elephant. The position of the eyes is basically superficially similar to those mammals like an elephant or a horse, and we only regard it as an elephant primarily because it's a large, sort of slightly aquatic adapted, rugged looking animal with intelligent dark eyes, and our brains struggle to apprehend these novel aspects. Our brains project all sorts of known archetypes onto the novel stimulus. So let's check this video out real quick. Now right there you'll be able to see, this is incredibly slowed down, you'll be able to see the vertical undulation that was present. It's going to be much more apparent when it zooms out and we've got a much broader view of it further away. Then you can see that it is indeed a classic sea serpent, but here you can see the dorsal osteoderms are in a pattern that's either inconsistent with an elephant or were adhered to an elephant. And you can see the head has a slim, almost horse-like facial profile, and that's not an ear behind it. That's actually where the top of the head connects to the rest of the body. It looks superficially like an ear, and then there you can see the nostril placement. That's not a trunk bent over back on itself. That's actually just the position of its actual nostrils, and that remains pretty steady. Not only that, but the bubble blowing is something that's often reported in these weird encounters with unknown lake creatures, and it's also a behavioral pattern noticed in known aquatic reptiles like crocodiles and snapping turtles. Yeah, right there. We should be able to see some kind of hair detail. We should be able to see some kind of elephantine fuzz on the animal at that point. And you can see how the neck crinkles back. It's totally inconsistent with an elephant. You can see the pattern of granulation on the head. It's vaguely reptilian, if anything. There we've got the dorsal spines, very soft, look like they could bump against a submarine cave wall. And those actively undulate when it zooms back out. You can see the full animal in motion. You can see that body undulating and displacing the water like those classic sea serpent depictions.